Hey fellow piano teachers, Ann Jansen here. Lately I've seen a lot of posts from teachers who say that their students want to learn improv and play their own music. And the teachers were not particularly interested because they either didn't know how to teach improv or they were not interested. Usually improv, the right hand has a lot of fancy things going on, left hand's playing chords. But there is an easier method that brings improv down to its core, which means just playing some chords, where the right hand plays chords. I have a short clip here to see how much fun playing right-hand chords can be. Check it out. One of the songs we'll be doing is Amazing Grace. We'll start off with a simple chord. That simple chord could be 3 fingers, 2 fingers, or sometimes 4, 5, 6-year-olds, only 1 finger. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound and bass that saved a wretch like me. 4-note chords. I once was lost. 7th chord, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Extra chord. Was great, more drama that taught my heart to feel. And grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear. Double bass. The hour I first may go up the chord. At the ending, more drama. Amazing grace, amazing grace, amazing grace. I'm actually in the key of D. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, etc. Someone just stopped over at my house. We're going to play a song together. This is Jammin.
I'll give you joy, only you, and money too. I'm like all I do for you. Bring it to me, bring me your sweet love, bring it all home to me,
So as you can see, there are a lot of options to do with right-hand chords. There's a culture that used to be passed on, and that was what people would gather. They would sing together, and I have a passion of keeping this going. In my own family, we have a lot of fun jamming together. I know I was gone for a wedding this weekend, and I was at the practice. When I came home, I heard my kids had jammed together with guitar, drums, piano, voice. And I was sad to have missed that, but I was really happy to know that, that's what they did while I was gone. And that last song you saw, last little clip, was my daughter who had come over. And we didn't practice that, we just sat down and we played it. And that song speaks to her heart. There's just passion in her, her soul. She's singing her soul out. And that song got her through 2 bouts of cancer. But when her brain was mush, as if happens when you are on chemo, she couldn't play her regular piano pieces, but she could play these chords, and she would sing and play when she felt good. Also, I go to the nursing home with my students, pre-COVID of course, but this was their favorite thing to do because they could just play these big chords. Other times I take them places and they play recital pieces, but there's just less stress because they're playing the big chords and they're just accompanying. We're just being together. And sometimes the parents join in with their instruments, ask the little siblings to come up, give them shakers, and it's just, like I said, a lot of fun. I want kids to connect to the piano, as you do, I'm sure. I still teach my traditional way of teaching. I still have my ideas of where I think they should go, but I do stick a little bit of accompaniment into every lesson. My students do make binders. I have them get a clear view one, and they could make their cover. And then, we start with my songs, and eventually they put their own songs in there. My youngest son sings professionally, and he always has his binder along, and that binder started in piano lessons and guitar lessons when he was young. And there probably aren't any songs in there that I gave him, but he has a great big binder of, so he can take requests. But that song book is his binder, is one of his favorite things that he owns. And sometimes we just do this in the summer, lighter load with the other work, but we do a lot of improv. But so many options here. But so how I got into teaching this style is a pretty cool story. It has to do with a 7th grade student named Sean. Sean was an amazing player, but one day he announced to me that he was done with lessons. He was done with reading music. His mom and I could see how talented he was, and so we did everything possible, every song and dance I could think of to get Sean to stay there. Oh, but Sean, you just don't see it right now. You're so good, we'll get through this together. He simply said no. So what I did at that lesson was take the knowledge I have from teaching guitar. I took some guitar music, which was simply a piece of white paper with some words on it and chords on top, and gave him that. Taught him a few right-hand chords. He went home and played and played and played. He came back so excited and couldn't wait for the next lesson. So now I had to come up with some lessons from Sean. So I scrambled and came up with curriculum. And for 6 months, he just exploded. By the end of 6 months, he had way surpassed me because he had all this time to practice. He had also gotten into jazz band at his school, and that teacher really now nurtured his creative spirit. And the cool story ending here is that Sean is now an amazing choral director in a small town in northern Minnesota. His choirs are huge. Had Sean not gotten over that little hump of not wanting to note read, we might not have this amazing choral director right now. Does Sean know how to read notes? Of course he does, because at one point he decided he was going to be a music major. And I believe in the firm statement of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Sean was ready to note read, and so he had to learn it quite quickly, and he did. And I don't know, it was a great little segue into his career. He also recorded an album. In fact, he gave me the album, the recordings, and on my website I have some other videos, and it's Sean's music in the back of a lot of my little videos. So pretty cool story for me, and he changed my life. I now teach a lot of this accompaniment style and a lot of improv, and he's enriched my life, so like I could play with my daughter and my kids when they come and play, that we can jam together. So I'm very grateful to that experience. But I also had to be open to that because I am a classically trained pianist. Of course, that's the route I wanted to go. But several years ago, he did change my life to be open to this other style. So if the information in this little video has resonated in your heart, if you have a need for this, there are 2 free videos to give it a try. One of them is for teachers who have had some experience with chords, and then the other one is if you haven't had any experience with chords. And then if you like it, there are 2.5-week sessions that we will spend about 50 minutes going through it, and the speed of the course will be determined by the attendees. So I'll just see what you need. There's just so much we can do together and just have a lot of fun together. Thanks for listening.